Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's webinar. We are excited to have you here as we dive into the essentials of setting up a business in the UAE. In this session, we will walk you through selecting the right jurisdiction for your business, understanding compliance requirement, and navigating the UAE taxation system. Today, we are joined by the industry leading expert who will share valuable insight and practical advice, Ms. Shireen Kapoor. She is the CEO and founder of Ask Consultancy, a dual licensed lawyer and a global business advisor, specializing in corporate law, international taxation, and investment structuring. Before we hand over to Shireen Kapoor, let me give you a brief introduction of Ask Consultancy. So, Ask Consultancy is a leading UAE-based business advisory firm specializing in company formation, tax structuring, compliance, and legal services. We provide end-to-end solution for startups, investors, and global businesses looking to establish and expand their presence in the UAE. Now let's hear from Ms. Shireen Kapoor, who will share her insights on successfully setting up and growing a business in the UAE.
Thank you, Sameer. Thank you for the brief introduction. I'm indeed overwhelmed with the response. Thank you all for joining. I hope today's session is kind of give you an insight into Dubai, into the UAE market, why setting up business here is such a crucial step, and why everybody's flocking towards it. Like now, when you open the news and you see global news as well, you will see that a lot of people are wanting to move to Dubai, and there's always a reason behind that influx. So today we'll walk you through the basic steps, and there's a lot of information on the internet, but we'll try to streamline some things for you, although the process is not that smooth as it seems, but with us we try to achieve that goal as well. I'm going to present it via a presentation that we have, and with that you'll get a better understanding of why Dubai and the difference between the corporate structuring, how it works, what is mainland, what is free zone companies, etc. So end of the session we'll have the Q&A, and then you can put your questions in the chat box, and to the best of my knowledge I'll try to answer them. So let's just start. Just give me a second and I'm gonna present the presentation. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, this basically we've tried to achieve a comprehensive guide in wherein we can tell you about UAE business setup process. This is not, I would say, this is not absolutely the details of everything, because everything is customized. We try to have a tailor-made solution for all our clients, but in general, you will get a deeper understanding of how this works. So if you look into the introduction, as I said, the presentation is all about helping you achieve the benefits of being in Dubai, whether it's taxation, whether it's structuring, whether it's even you want to cater to your international market as a business owner, or you want to start any kind of industry. Then we dive into the particular industry, especially for you when you come to us for consultations. We of course look into what kind of industry, what is the market analysis of that, but how you can expand. And even if you are a company in outside of UAE and you want to open a branch in UAE, we also help in that process. So let's talk about brief background of Dubai. And I specifically mentioned Dubai because, as we know, Dubai is the city which is the hub of UAE, and here is where a lot of expats want to move. So focus is on Dubai, but of course we help in other setups as well, the other free zones and mainland companies, say for other Emirates like Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, etc. So Dubai, as you know, is the center of the hub. 2/3 of the world is covered in 8 hours of flight. So that means it is very strategically located, and that is where Dubai's Vision 2033 what it's trying to achieve is something exceptional as a city, because the city's ruler is absolutely visionary. They have plans for 2033, 2041, 2077. So you can imagine it's all in the pipeline for them, and they have a plan. Because of that, they are diversifying into non-oil sectors also. A lot of people think that UAE is all about oil economy outside, but no, that's not true. Dubai, in fact, is only 0.1% contribution to that. Dubai's economic diversification is into other sectors, say real estate, tech, now even fintech, specifically construction industry and other innovation infrastructure industries. Of course, we have four major reasons of why Dubai, and as I explained to you in the previous this thing, that because of its location and connectivity. Say, for example, now you want to make Dubai your re-exporting center. Then Dubai is one of the world's leading re-exporting center. As in, your stuff can come here, your import can come here, and be exported to two-thirds of the world very easily via because of its strategic location, connectivity with the water, air freight, everything. It's so strategically located, along with all the corporate tax benefits that you will get in the process. So say, for example, a lot of clients that come to us want to import something from China, want to send it want to distribute it not just in UAE but also in Gulf. So we help them create that strategic advisory of where you should set up. If you want to do business in UAE, then there's a separate setup. If you want to do outside of UAE, there's a separate setup. But the connectivity of the place itself, being in one of the most busiest ports, is very strategic. So that's why a lot of people in the import export industry also focus on UAE. And now that the industry is thriving into tourism, etc., all the other parallel industries where you can think that people are flocking into, is because of Dubai's strategic location. You cover Asia, you cover Africa, you cover Russia, you cover Europe. There's a whole lot of countries that you cover being in Dubai. It's needless to say, if you look into all the kind of news, as well as all the kind of reports also, not just news, I would say even reports, when you refer to, you will see Dubai's positive news, thriving news, business friendly news, is all because that's the entire plan for the government as well. And the government itself wants to make it the most business friendly environment. So it's very surprising. I went to Dubai Court for some work of lately, and if you read the preamble in Dubai Code, the third point, it says that UAE, Dubai especially, is a business-friendly city, and everybody should respect that. Even their locals are supposed to respect that fact. 60% of the economy is being run by expat, 20% is being run by the government itself, and the total, you can imagine the kind of contribution expats have, and how mutual respect works here. Culturally, also everything. It's absolutely, you'll be amazed how this city is so safe, and then besides being safe, also has so much of business ethics in it. So a lot of people come here for sales, marketing, business, and the economy is developed in a manner that it's absolutely business friendly. And not just being business friendly, like in terms of even ease of doing business. If you see in the last world report, UAE was ranked as number 16, which is way above some of the developed countries in the world, especially India as well, especially Canada. It was just way above all of that. That means the moment you want to set up a business, to the end-to-end work, like even if you want to just end, you want to close the company also, liquidate also, the entire process is so business friendly because of its modern structure. Everything is online, there's no such hassle, everything is smooth in terms of doing business here. And then the kind of course, the business is not just dependent on starting a business. There are a lot many other things. I always say to my clients that business starting is the basic step. After that is the real thing, that how you network, the kind of people you meet. It's all the model, and hence you meet such people every day. And there's no labor shortage as well, which is again a very good point for business ventures. As you will know more about UAE, you will dive more into it. Not just the real estate sector, but all other sectors have a growth plan, and because of that, there's economic stability. Now, a lot of people are moving to UAE, and stability, I think, is a factor which is a driven factor, which is a lump sum of demand and supply. So, stability in the sense is coming to UAE that anything goes wrong in any part of the world, UAE has its own point to attract those kind of people. Russia, Ukraine happened, people flocked in from Russia, people flocked in from Ukraine. A lot of people now, Australian capital gain tax is happening, a lot of people moved from Australia. Lot of crime issues and safety issues have happened in Europe, people are moving in from Europe and UK. So you can imagine the kind of the global hub it has become, and because of that, there's a lot of scope of stability and growth. So I always feel that now that it has become a place where end users are moving, where people who want to live live long term in Dubai, who plan to live long term in Dubai, are bringing in their entire businesses, their entire setups. Family wealths are moving. So there's this kind of hub and ecosystem that you will feel, which is growing towards stability, and there's always growth in the economy, whether you look into the finance sector, tourism, technology. Especially all this is backed by the government, and when the government is investing in something and the government is so visionary, decision making is so fast, then you don't feel that there's any kind of instability or hamperings of the growth. I feel that Dubai always has two sides to it. One is the lifestyle side, which is the all luxury side, but one is also the other side to Dubai, wherein you can get everything and anything. It's just the feeling that people feel it's very expensive, but I always say you have all kind of market to cater to. There is areas in DMCC, around DMCC, where all the you will see all the gold traders and all those people working. So that free zone is for particular that area. So you can imagine that the lifestyle and global appeal is for everybody. You cannot just generalize in the sense that UAE is for one particular category. Now e-commerce is growing, digital nomads is growing, all kind of visas have opened, golden visa is there. Like there are multiple options, and because of which it has become a global appealing destination, especially when content creators are here, influencer market is happening. I mean, you name it and they have it. So with around 200 nationalities working here, the healthcare system is superbly well. Although it's private and it's covered, but still it's superbly even if you pay for a service and you get that service, it's absolutely amazing to get that, because I've seen the other side also, where the governments are sponsoring the healthcare and it's not that effective at all. So rather have it private and paid. So that's why a lot of medical tourism also happens in UAE. Now I want to come to this main topic, because I don't want everybody's much time to be taken for this. Now we've got a brief background of why UAE is the main country that we are focusing and Dubai is the city. The corporate structure, how it works is, it's a bit unlike the other countries. Back in 1960s, when UAE was getting its, when it was developing into economic hub, since then they've been working. 1970s, the oil revolution happened, and after post which they realized that, like Singapore, Dubai also needs to have some incentives for business owners. Otherwise, who would want to come in a desert and start a business? That is when the concept of free zone and mainland came into place. And now over the period of years, now we are in 2025, fast forward, we have 40 plus free zones in the entire UAE. So free zones were primarily made that one particular free zone where you open one particular kind of business, and that industry can have that entire ecosystem as a startup ecosystem from that free zone itself. But now all the free zones offer multiple services, so we still need to know the legalities. Like I always tell my clients, don't go for the cheapest, because later on that can be very costly for you. So you need to understand what is good for your business, where your business can thrive, what are the tax implications. Tax implications also not just in UAE, but also from where you're coming, because you're still not a resident of UAE. So there are multiple things that you have to cater to. When it comes to mainland versus free zone, making the right choice is very important, and I'm going to give you some simple tips when we discuss this in detail. So mainland companies are basically those companies, like as the name suggests, it can be incorporated anywhere in the UAE. You can have any physical lease anywhere in the UAE, and they're regulated and incorporated by the Department of Economic Development, famously known as DED, which has its own the kind of number of activities you have in that particular trade license is what you can work into. So it's very important what kind of business you choose. All the trade activities in the DED license should be related. At least it cannot be something which is very random to each other. And depending on the kind of business you want to do, we suggest trading activities, and we also suggest if mainland is required, because mainland initially can be a costly setup, but long term the the number of visas you can give to your the number of visas you can give to your people, the number of kind of place where you want to operate, the invoicing within UAE, it's all smooth from your UAE mainland company. So a mainland company, say Dubai mainland company, will be able to do business entire UAE without any problem. Legally, legitimately, market, invoice, etc. can all be done through the mainland company. But of course, if a mainland company will further have two categories, one is regulated, one is non-regulated. If you go into crypto, you go into securities, you go into investment funds, they are all regulated activities. They need approval of an additional authority. So it depends on what kind of trading activity we choose. We have so many about 2,500 to 3,000 lists. So we need to check what kind of activity you want to work in. But mainland company can also take government contracts, which some people, they think that they can operate free zone company and take government contracts. No, mainland companies can only do government contracts, and that I always say, because a lot of people don't know this, and then later it becomes a problem. Keeping in mind that what kind of ownership structure is also important, whether you're a sole owner, you are a sole proprietor, you are a partnership, you are an LLC, that means a company limited by shares, you have certain kind of MOA, there is standard articles of association and MOA of the company. But they always say in Dubai, when later problem arises, you should always have everything written form in your articles of amendment or MOA, because tomorrow, even if there's a partnership split, there's no concept of anything else except being on trade license. So it's very important, because Dubai courts are very particular about it. So just have everything, if you are opening a partnership, LLC, everything, the ownership structure should work. Before 2021, a lot of people, a lot of trading activities had local agents for mainland companies. That is still the rule, like in KSA, that's still the rule. But now in Dubai, because it was modernizing its activities and its economy, it knew that the local agent, local sponsor sometimes can be a problem for the trading activity. So hence they removed it. And now 95% trading activities don't require a local agent or sponsor and can be done 100% in your name, which is a very big move that was taken in the UAE ownership structure landscape. As I said, operational flexibility is absolutely there. You need to have, with every trade license, you need to have a ijari. So ijari is a tenanted place, or if you have a physical office, that's very important. So even if it's your own place, it's a tenanted place, but it should be linked to your trading activity. And without that, the company setup process will not be completed. But this you can do anywhere in the UAE. Some free zones also offer NOC, and after the NOC, you can have any office in across the UAE, but mainland company can have that operational flexibility. Yeah, as I said, the advantages of mainland presence is extensive. I cannot even, go on telling about it, but depending on the particular trading activity, depending on what kind of clientele you want to cater to, so many people, they don't want to export also, like they don't want to trade with the UAE, within the UAE, so they have their businesses in the free zones, and then they don't do activity directly with the mainland company. They can only do it through a distributor, and hence they save some people, they want to save the custom duties. There are so many other benefits along the way that just depending on the kind of business you want to open will come into place. But giving you an idea, operating as a mainland company will offer you access to government contracts, potential partnerships with local corporations, and business growth. And there's one more thing that I feel that practically I have seen in my life, is that there is a lot of trust and credibility coming to a mainland company. And with mainland company, the issue is in free zone here in UAE, people can have difficulties and face frauds with free zone companies, but mainland companies are more tied up and credible in a manner, because they are regulated by the UAE civil law and commercial law, so people kind of trust it more. Yes, in some, as I said, 5% of the activities will require consideration of maybe a local agent or a local sponsor, and the visa number of visas will be dependent on the kind of size. Then, if you need more visas, you need a bigger space. So that all teething problems will come into play when you set up. So we need to understand what you need to do, what is the size of the business you're bringing in, what is your plan, 3-year plan, 2-year plan. Then accordingly, we will tell you if a free zone license could be better for you potentially to start with. As I said, free zone have their own benefits. Free zone companies have 100% foreign ownership. Some of the free zones also have corporate tax exemptions applying to it, like Jabal Ali free zone. So depending on the business and the activity, you can claim some of the tax benefits, even come into exemptions, even if you have crossed the threshold limit of the tax. So just depending on the kind of free zone you're opening in. But usually we work with few free zones who have very smooth experience. Some of the free zones in UAE, you will face a lot of issues with bank account opening for the business, which is one of the main thing. So I always say do reverse, see where the bank account can be open, and then accordingly choose the free zone company. Free zone companies also allow for 100% foreign ownership without a local sponsor. You can have a free zone company which can again hold your property here in UAE. That's again a corporate structuring tactic. A lot of people get into that as well, and I can go talking about that in detail maybe later or maybe in another webinar, but that's absolutely a different thing. But yes, free zone company helps a lot in layering, in process, wealth management, structuring, which is why a lot of people also like to open in free zones. And there are specialized free zones as well for a particular any kind of industry you want to open it, so that you get entire support there. Free zone companies can trade within the free zone. That is the general rule. But with local distributors, as I said, you can have mainland trading, or you can also open two companies, one in free zone and one in mainland, and then work. The two companies can work together. This is done when the business is at that scale and at that level, and you have that kind of contracts here in UAE, and you want to fulfill those, so that sometimes you don't want to be dependent on a third party, and that is where your own company comes into play. But to start with, free zone operations are very smooth to do. Besides all the benefits, one of this benefit I feel is the networking opportunity in free zones. Because say for example you are starting a business in Medan free zone or DIFC or any kind of, depending on the kind of trading activity you have, the business, the networking opportunities is something that you want to look into when you come into Dubai and UAE, because the market, I would say, is not as easy to get into, penetrate. It's still a market which has a lot of competition, and it's a growing market, but scalable market, but still you need to know your the basics, right? So that is where a market analysis doing before the company setup comes into play, a business plan before company setup comes into play, so that you know exactly what you're getting into. Besides the tax exemptions, of course, there are clusters like sports city is there, or media city is there, production city is there. There are clusters of these free zones which can help you network with the right people at the right time. Now it has more modernized. All the free zones offer all kind of services almost. Like DIFC was supposed to be financial, but now it has turned into a lifestyle. It has retail, it has non-financial licensing, it has regulated, non-regulated. There's like a whole lot of things. You want to open a restaurant, depending on the kind of area you want to get into and the trade you want to get into. While free zone companies obviously enjoy a lot of advantages, local distribution for mainland sales can be sometimes problematic, but there are obviously solutions to it which we can look into. Okay, now comes the elephant in the room where everybody wants to talk about it. Well, when they say UAE is tax-free, is UAE actually tax-free? Is something that so many people come to us for advisory, and we say UAE is tax-free, yes. For personal income tax, yes. For capital gain tax, yes. Inheritance tax. Corporate tax is there, but if you still see, it's one of the lowest corporate tax except Bahrain in the GCC. And even if that is the amount, there is a quantum, which is a 375k AED threshold profit that you have to meet in order to be giving corporate tax, but you still have to register for it. There is 5% VAT, which is basic, because even when you get, when you take VAT, you also reclaim those exemptions also. And in tax advisory, there are ways to do that as well. There are so many things in which VAT is also not applicable and exemptions are there. But coming to the fact that a lot of people think that UAE is tax free, but your home country is not tax free, and you are still not a resident of UAE, as I said earlier in the presentation. So you need to have a advice or maybe a tailor-made solution of how you're moving to Dubai, how you're getting to funds to Dubai, how your structuring is happening to the UAE, whether if you are investing in asset share purchase, you are doing any kind of asset, for example, if you're buying a property, etc., and it's coming the money is coming, you're still a resident of XYZ country. So you need to keep in mind that unless you are 183 days inside UAE living here, till that point of time you're not a UAE resident, and the law applicable to most of the countries, UAE signatory to a significant double taxation treaty avoidance policy. So you will know that depending on your situation and the kind of this thing, UAE is tax free, but you just need to structure it in a way that your home tax authorities don't come after you. So you need to plan in that manner. If it's a branch company, it's of the parent company, of course you need to declare it in your home country. So yes, as I said, the limit exceeding profits exceeding AED 375k is set at 9%. Tax aims to diversify the economy and align with global tax standards, while still maintaining Dubai attractiveness for foreign investment, which, by the way, is Dubai's number one source of revenue also is FDI. Then again, there are no capital tax, no personal income tax. Now I feel is one of the major reasons why people are also coming here, because when you have to pay personal income tax in Canada or in any of those countries where your personal income, when they are actually your slab rate increases, there's progressive taxation, it becomes a lot of problem, and people don't want to give such a major chunk of their hard work income to the government and then not even getting those benefits which they were promised. So then that's the problem, and that is why a lot of people are from those countries also migrating to Canada, and we see a number of to the UAE, and we see a number of reverse migration also happening. As I said, this UAE still remains one of the lowest in terms of taxation in the GCC. And that's about it for the presentation. And the floor is open for any question and answer. But this was just giving you a comprehensive understanding of how the business setup here works. There are a number of other ancillary things, like there's VAT compliance, there's taxation compliance, there's marketing compliance. There are so many small things, and in UAE you don't want to be in that space where you go wrong, because the fines are hefty. If it's company fine, it's hefty. If it's non-compliance file, it's hefty. You have a regulated activity, you need to know that if it's under AML compliance, which is anti-money laundering. So there are a number of things in terms of your business here that you need to be compliant to. We specialize in a manner, and I always tell everybody that you can easily rely on us. Give us your entire end-to-end, we can give you an entire end-to-end service, and you can just focus on doing business. That's very important. And I'm open to question and answer or any consultations after this which we can take.
Well, thank you so much, Shireen Kapoor, and also thank you for being a part of today's webinar. To everyone, we hope our expert provided you with the valuable insight on establishing and growing a business in the UAE. So before we wrap up, we would love to address a few questions from the audience. Please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll be happy to address them. So I think we got one question here from Amit Gupta. Okay. So his question is, for real estate agents, which is good, mainland or free zone?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So if you are a real estate agent and not working with the company, you can technically live anywhere and do anything and be associated to company, because your broker card would be backed by the real estate brokerage company. But if you want to open a real estate brokerage company, mainland company is the most reliable, because I like to work with free zone companies. How many visas will I qualify after getting my business established in UAE? Again, depending on the package and depending on the company where you're incorporating, it will be dependent on that. Of course, usually you will take partner visa, investor visa, which is included, and you have packages. If you open 3-year company, 2 visas, it's just very different for all the kind of packages that we offer, and the kind of free zone that you're opening or mainland that you're opening.
All right, I think there's one more question. What is the scope of F&B there?
Scope of F&B is very much there. There is, of course, but you in that trade, like any other trade, you need to be careful of where you are operating, how you're starting, what's your business plan, because a restaurant and food and any kind of business related to that fast F&B industry requires a lot of personal touch, because it's a service industry end of the day, and hence if you're able to give it, or if you're already doing well in one country and want to open a same kind of franchisee or branch here, then also it works. It's a very good scope, because you are catering to 200 nationalities in one place.
Okay, I think that's it for today's. Okay, there's one more question coming up, which is, can you help with legal services?
Yes, to the extent we can help you in all kind of legal consultancy, and we are licensed to do that in the UAE. So if there's any issue related to any kind of legal issues, even this corporate structuring is a part of legal consultancy, and we would love to do it happily.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone. And I think we are still getting lots of questions coming up. Okay, so I think we should answer a few of those questions. So the other question is, can you help with anything? Yeah, on ongoing basis.
Yes,
why should I consider mainland?
Yeah, so we do have our monthly retainer as well for all the services. You can pick and choose the service you want from us, from the end-to-end solution. We do help with payroll, accounting, regulatory, legal issue, legal compliance. Annually, we have a monthly retainer as well, and we can happily do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, so let's see. Okay, I think we can. Okay, there's one more coming up. Which free zone would you suggest?
The free zone would depend on the business activity. It's very important that I know about your trading activity, specific what you want to do here in UAE, and based on that, we suggest the free zone.
Great. Okay, then once again, thank you for joining us today. If you are planning to start your business in the UAE, Ask Consultancy offers comprehensive end-to-end solution under one roof. Our expert will reach out to understand your needs and provide you with a tailored solution. Please feel free to reach out for a consultation. We are here to support your business journey. Please do follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest inside updates and the expert advice. And don't forget to follow Shirin Kapoor personally on her YouTube channel, where she hosts the insightful podcast Brews and Views. Thank you all. Stay connected and stay inspired. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sameer. Thank you, everybody.